Up everyone, Luke McGuire here, and wanted to say a massive thank you for being so patient over the past week. I've just got back from Las Vegas from Chris Records 3C event. I've met many of you there, which has been a lot of fun, and I really appreciate a lot of you coming out. Those who couldn't make it, we'll make sure you get the replays of the entire event, which was just pure value. There was no pictures, it was nothing like that. Just 100% pure value training, and being able to network with some of the biggest internet marketers in the business. So thank you all for coming out, and for those who didn't make it out, you'll be getting your recordings very soon. Now, speaking about free training, this is why I'm going to be doing this video and some following videos in the coming days as well, because again, this month I really want to focus on pushing three main areas. The first being Facebook ads and giving you guys a full 100% free training on all the different types of ads that you can see here and how you can best utilize them, and also go from basic ads from boosting a post to using your ads manager here to then using the actual Power Editor. We'll also be looking at how to create very highly converting imagery for our actual ads with needing no graphic design experience at all, and also not spending money on getting it outsourced to sites like Fiverr and whatnot. And while Fiverr is a good site to find outsourced material, even though it's only $5, that $5 adds up the more graphics you get done. So I'm going to show you guys how I create my ads for free and in a very easy, simple way to do. So I'll be showing you that there as well. I know Chris Record touched on the way he does ads as well with Canva inside of canva.com in the third webinar. So I don't actually use Canva. Everyone uses something different. I actually have been using Photoshop for a very long time, but I'll show you how I use it now, because Photoshop is very expensive and very confusing, and I go in there and I feel like I'm in a maze sometimes and I don't know how to do things. So I'm going to show you the most simple, easy way to create highly converting imagery for your ads as well, no matter what social network you're on there. The second thing I want to talk about this month is Shopify. I want to give you guys a lot of free Shopify training. And I know just from being at the event, there were so many people interested in Shopify, how to create sales on Shopify, how to set up a Shopify store, and how you actually drive traffic from your social media accounts to Shopify. So I'm going to be doing a full training on Shopify itself. And then finally, we're going to jump into some Instagram training for free again at the end of the month, showing you what Instagram is and how it's a social network that you need to be on, because I love Instagram so much. There's so much value to be provided there in terms of providing it to your customers, but the customers are so much more responsive. You may not know, Instagram followers and Instagram users are 52 times more engaged than those on Facebook, and 127 times more engaged than those on Twitter. So just that in itself is going to actually show you how popular Instagram is for users, and how businesses can then network and market and sell on Instagram in a very unintrusive, value-giving way. And I'm going to be showing you how to do that. And if you've never used Instagram before, don't worry, because I'm going to show you how easy it is to use. It's so much easier than Facebook. I don't think I've ever found an app that's actually so simple yet so effective to use ever. So we'll be doing that as well. So quickly, I'll pause this in a second, but thank you again for your time. Let's jump into this Facebook training now. Over the following days, you'll be getting a new video probably every day for the next 2 or 3 days, maybe even for the whole week, depending on how you guys enjoy it and the questions that I get asked and whatnot. But thank you very much. Hope you enjoy this. Sorry, it's been, what date is it now? It's the 7th here in Australia, so I've got a lot of catching up to do for the past week for you guys. But get ready for this. It's going to be a lot of fun, and let's jump straight into doing some Facebook advertising here. All right, thanks, guys. All right, guys, so let's jump straight into this free training on the different areas of Facebook ads here, so you can get a bit of a better overview of what each of these sections in Facebook ads means. Then we'll go ahead and have a look inside of the actual ad set, how to create ad sets, choose our audiences, some little ninja tricks and stuff that you might not even know about that can really help with conversions. Then we'll go ahead and look at the differences between boosting a post to working within the ads manager and then to using the Power Editor, which is the more advanced way of Facebook ads, but I'm going to make this super simple for you to understand how to use it if it is something you want to do. And often what Facebook does is they roll out new features with Facebook advertising into the Power Editor first, where the more advanced users go ahead and test these new functions and whatnot, and then they release them in the actual ads manager a bit later on as well. But it's even though I say advanced, it's still super simple when I show you exactly how to use it and what to look at and take notice of, and what makes no difference if you know what I mean. I said you know a lot of times then, but in this video here, let's just go ahead through the different sections. We'll open them up. We'll run down some case studies here. We're not going to make some live ads in this instance here because in the next video, I want to go ahead and show you how to create highly converting ad images for multiple networks. So not just for Facebook, but for Instagram, Pinterest, banner ads, whatever it is you're trying to do. So we'll jump into that there as well. And then we can actually create some live ads then. But this video, I want to actually dive into these different areas, set up some campaigns. We'll choose a basic image to get going with, but I'll just I want to show you what you would need to do for different examples when creating Facebook ads. So let's start here with Boost Your Posts. So we'll click on this first. So basically what this means is if I wanted to boost a post that I'm an admin of a fan page of, I simply select the fan page I want to choose. Here I'm choosing the Madison Gordon Diet Plan. I can then click this button here and go ahead and go through the different posts on the actual fan page itself. So let me just open this up over here as well. One moment. So we've got this here. Let's open this up here. And this is my friend Madison here, who we had a diet plan with because she lost a lot of weight and now sells this diet plan itself, which does really, really well. You can see a lot of these images definitely would not get approved via Facebook. So that's another thing I'm going to be pushing here. What ads will get approved and what ads won't. And some key things you need to realize here from mistakes that I've made in the past. For example, this image might be very on the borders of passing because there's too much body showing. While her face is showing, and a lot of ads do get away with getting approved if the face is showing. If the face was cut off, definitely this ad would get disapproved. When it comes to fitness and the health niche, which we all know is extremely profitable, you're going to want to make sure the person's face is looking at the camera and is less amount of body showing, the better in terms of keeping your ad account safe. However, a lot of people do use images like this and get away with it fine, but I just like to let you guys know what Facebook looks for. So you don't want to be portraying an idealized body image. For example, she's not looking at the camera here, she's looking into a phone. I wouldn't use this image. But for example, say I wanted to use this image here, this beautiful sunset here. I could go back over here and find that image here. And I'd select that right now. Then what I would then go ahead and do is I can then make the campaign name here. So the campaign, what a campaign is, think of it like a bit of an umbrella. So the campaign itself is going to store all the different ads you have and all the different ad sets you have. So the difference between a campaign to an ad set to an ad. The campaign is simply just a giant folder that you call in the folder. So if you created a folder on your desktop called Madison Gordon Diet Plan Post Engagement, just like they have here, inside of that folder, you would then have your ad sets. Your ad sets are what we're about to jump to in a second, which is our actual target market that we're trying to target. So where they live, how old they are, what their interests are, where they're from, if they made payments on Facebook in the past 20 days, if they like multiple brands and they don't like another brand. I'll show you this in 1 second. And then the ad itself is the actual copy, where the link to the ad's going to go to, the images we use and that type of stuff as well. So think about that. Campaign's the overall side. The ad set is the audience we're trying to target. So think of ad set as the audience. And the ad is obviously the imagery, the text, the headlines, the text and the links, that type of thing. So let's jump in right now. And that'll be the same across the board no matter what we're using here. Even if we're trying to create more engagement on an iPhone app or an Android app, it will still be the same thing. It'll be the actual ad campaign, the ad set, and then the ad. So let's jump in over here. And when you understand that, it makes using the Power Editor much more easy. So we're going to set the audience and the budget. So right now, we're pulling in all the different audiences, the default audiences from Facebook. And again, whenever I record, the internet goes really slow here. But as a lot of the top Facebook marketers do, we like to choose English-speaking countries in this instance. Although, if you are from a non-English-speaking country, it could be a nice competitive advantage there in targeting non-English-speaking countries and targeting the country that you speak English in. because that's going to be a nice niche market for you in itself there. So I'll pause this until this loads and I'll be back in a second. All right, so back here now, it's loaded. And as you see over here, we've got the campaign, which was just simply the name and what we're trying to do in that campaign. In this instance, it's a post engagement. We're trying to make more engagement happen on a post that we've made. And in Viral Autobots, this is what we would choose to actually set our viral posts going viral for a brand new page itself. Then we have the ad set, which we're in now. So I'm going to choose a custom audience if I already have an audience set up from the past. But in this instance, we're going to go from scratch, and I'm going to choose all the English-speaking countries here. So I'm going to go New Zealand, United States, United Kingdom, and Canada. So they're the 5 that I use, and you'll see a lot of top Facebook marketers using these 5 as well. And again, in this case, I'm selling an intangible product, which is a diet plan membership site from Madison here. So if you're not wanting to target the entire world, just choose your country where you're from, where you're wanting to send the product to and whatnot. I had a question at 3C about e-com. If you have a product in your country, is it worth even targeting the world if I then need to go ahead and send the product overseas, which adds more shipping costs, and then they might not do it. What I like to do in those cases is have, obviously, what you want to do is make sure that you want your audience. I'd set 2 different campaigns up here. I'd set one to my local country, then I'd set one worldwide, because at the end of the day, if people buy from overseas and they don't mind paying a shipping cost, then everything's going to be fine. That's more sales for you. So don't limit yourself into what you think other people may think, or they might not buy it because of an international shipping cost. If you've made them emotionally invested in your product on the sales page, they won't mind paying a shipping fee. And for me, with my teeth whitening strips here, which I'll talk a bit more about in another video, we get a lot of orders from overseas, not as many as in Australia, which means obviously there's a big market for anyone that wants to copy my product in America. But just for example, we do get orders from all around the world, purely because we open the targeting to be all around the world as well. So don't limit yourself into what you can do. So right now, there's 261 million people in this audience, male and female here. I'm going to scroll down here. I'm going to hit women only, as this diet plan is focused towards women. I'm going to choose the ages from 21, say, to 31, as I found that's been a good market for this individual type of product. It relates with Madison's age, her audience, her Instagram followers, that type of thing as well. So that's been a really good audience for us here. That's taken it down to 41 million people, which is still a massive audience. So what we're going to do from here is, now that we've taken that down there, we've chosen the ages, we've chosen the genders. What I want to touch on with age as well, always make the age 18 or above, because a thing that I've noticed a lot with a lot of products, health-related products and whatnot, if you're advertising to people under the age of 18, it's going to actually get your ad denied because of that actual error in having it. The terms and conditions say a lot of products can only be sold or shown to people over the age of 18. No matter if they're teeth whitening strips or weight loss teas or whatever it might be. If you think your product might not be suitable or might need approval for people under the age of 18 in real life, make sure you have that set to 18 as the minimum here as well. Because the more ads you get denied, it gets counted with Facebook. And don't be worried about having an ad denied. It happens to everyone. But obviously, the more you can limit it, the better. So from there, we can have languages. I normally just leave it, I don't even enter it there. This section here is really cool, especially with what they've introduced recently. So say I want to type in for people who like fitness, which is going to be a very general audience. I can then go ahead and select the different subcategories chosen here that are to fitness. So over here, that's taken our audience down to 140,000 people. Say if I clicked out of this one, typed in health and fitness, which will be a bigger one. Health and Fitness World, Health and Fitness Books, men and women. Oh, they're not even that big here then. Let's go weight loss then. Extreme weight loss. 160,000 people there. Then if I typed in, let's say type in health, fitness. I want to find the actual broad category here, which has a lot more people than these. Let me pause this, so I'll get it back in 1 second. All right, so physical fitness takes up to 290,000 people with the different sets that we have here. That's why, because I made the age quite small. Extreme weight loss TV show. Actually, I'll click out of this one for now. So right now, my ad's going to be shown to people who like extreme weight loss or like fitness. So that doesn't mean they have to like both. They like one or the other. Then I'm going to narrow this audience down here and type in people who are also like, for example, Lorna Jane, which is a very big women's apparel, clothing, fitness line here in Australia. It's taken that audience much further down to 12,000 people. So this now what this does is it makes it that people who like fitness, they must also like Lorna Jane to be included in this audience for my ads to be seen. Or extreme weight loss and that like Lorna Jane for them to be included in this audience here. And while that's a much smaller number, if I'm going direct from an actual ad to a sales page, you're going to want to have a very highly converting audience here. If I'm not trying to bridge them, or if I'm not trying to provide more value, if I'm just wanting to go direct from an ad to a sales page, the best way you can do it, if you don't want to go down providing value, sell by creating a list or building an opt-in form or whatever, you can go direct with this route here. And another example, let's type in something like for my whitening strips. A common one I like to do is I type in something like people who like red wine. Again, you have to be careful when you talk about alcohol and interests. In this case, you need to make sure it's 21 and over because we're targeting the United States. So people under the age of 18 should not like red wine, but I'm sure a lot do. Red wine, they like Coca-Cola. And also like, what's another thing that might stain your teeth? Smoking. So 34,000 people like red wine and like Coca-Cola and like smoking. So you probably can presume that their teeth aren't as white as what they possibly could be. And that's just in this demographic here. If I make this to all men and women, 56,000. If I take this age up to 59, where I'm sure a lot more people have darker teeth, that's 94,000 people. So that this audience here is very, very broad. If I get rid of smoking, they'll jump up a lot more as well, 280,000 people. But if I put these actual interests all in here, if I put red wine, smoking, and Coca-Cola, say they smoke but they don't drink red wine, the people that actually do that will still see my ad. And if it doesn't make sense, why would I want someone to actually see it if the ad is about red wine and smoking, if they have no interest in red wine whatsoever? But by putting it like this really narrows the audience down. And now I'm going to go here and I'm going to go exclude people who like teeth whitening. I'm not sure that would be an audience here. So right now, this ad will end up, this ad set is set to people to only show my ad to people who like red wine, Coca-Cola, that are also smokers and that don't like teeth whitening. So they haven't actually gone out and shown interest in teeth whitening yet. So I'm going to be the first person to say, look guys, you smoke. If you smoke, drink. Actually, I won't say it like that because of Facebook ads, but I'd say something like, look, if your teeth are not as white as what you wish, this is, here's Kiss Strips, my teeth whitening product or something like that. We'll go into the ad copy in just a second. Then I would add a connection type to my Facebook pages. Actually, sorry, I won't do that here. I'll do that on the following page. I'll select the page. But if I already have a page set up and I want to send my ad to people who like my page or even friends of people who like my page, this is an option here that a lot of people forget. What this actually does, it allows you to go ahead and actually target friends, obviously what it says, friends of people who like your page. And why would I want to do this? Well, I'm sure you've seen ads where it says Luke McGuire's liked this page or something like that. if someone else has liked a page, I'm then more inclined to go and see why they've liked it, because friends follow what friends do. People are like sheep. And if you can target existing fans' friends, they're most likely going to have a very similar interest as what that person does, because again, people have very similar interests that are friends. That's why we're friends, and that's the psychology behind it. So you can actually go ahead and do that, target friends of pages, and you can even do an ad that says, see why your friend loves Kiss Strips, see why your friend likes this page. We know you'll like this because your friend has too. Click here to see why, that type of thing, And you can really get in their minds like that as well. As bad as not getting their minds is some Houdini trick, but you can really make them go, okay, if I saw this ad normally, I wouldn't click on it. But because Luke's liked it and it's showing me that Luke has liked it, I'm going to check it out as well. And you can do this with whatever ad campaign you're trying to do, whether it's video ads, page post boost, clicks to website, no matter what it is, you can go ahead and do this right now. Go ahead and set your budget. I normally set mine to maybe around $5 a day. You don't really need to go any higher than that to begin with. You can go lower than that if you have multiple campaigns running. Go ahead, set that. Post engagement, I normally just set this to automatic. However, if some people prefer to go for impressions, again, what an impression is, it means every time your ad is shown in someone's news feed, no matter if they click on it or if they don't, it's going to get it's going to be charged. It's not going to be charged very much. It's charged per 1,000 impressions. So if you want to get a message out there on the masses, impressions is a good way to go. But I like to use post engagement here. So when people start to like and engage with it, you get charged for the actual engagements rather than impressions or daily unique reach. So we'll go on from there. If you want to manually set it up, you can. I might go into that in another video, but to make it easier, leave it like that. Then you can go down here with this all set up as is. If you want to run ads at a specific time, you can have them run through times throughout the day. It only runs through lifetime budget. So if we jump over here, lifetime budget, you can then start and end date. Let's have it like that. I can then choose what times of days on each day I want it to run, because you might get more engagement. Say, for example, at between 6 to 9 a.m., you might get the most engagement. Or if you think about the psychology of people, when are they on Facebook? Maybe they're on it in the mornings when they first wake up, when they finish work at between 5 to 9 p.m. at night when they're relaxing, maybe at lunchtimes during the day when they're at work. It really depends on your market, and you can actually select here when they're going to see the ad. But by setting it to a lifetime budget, it'll choose a little bit of money every single day to go out through those times you've selected. So it's up to you if you want to use this or not. Normally, I just run ads all the time, because anytime I get a lead, I think that's cool. Not everyone's a robot. I know on the same times every single day, so I just leave it as a daily budget. But in saying that, you can test around with that and see how you go. Ad set name, make sure you select your ad set. And this can be smoking, Coca-Cola, and wine ad. Then I'm going to go straight into the ad itself. And then we've selected, I changed it over earlier, we selected the actual image that we're going to post. Freshly squeezed juice to warm up my sunny is my weakness. And I think she meant to say Sunday. On a warm, sunny day, maybe she meant to say. So we've chosen the actual ad here. Because it's actually a pre-written ad, we can't go ahead and edit it directly right now. Sorry, I just wanted to pause the video there because I kept on talking, but I realized this was a big question often discussed in viral Autobots. So when you actually boost a viral post, say for example it's a video or an image here that we found in viral Autobots that's gone viral, we boost it initially with no links or content in here. Right now this update that I chose has one, but say I chose a different actual update, like for argument's sake this viral video here. It's already got the most viral content here. It's got a lot of views and likes and whatnot. Say this was the one I was boosting, and then I wanted to go ahead and add a link to this content here. I would come back to the same ad in the ad set that I've created, or if this is the first time I'm creating an ad in the ads manager, I'd create it, I'd let it run its course, then I'd pause the ad, come back into it and edit it and change the existing post to something else like this one here, for example. Then I would go into the video ad, edit the ad from the drop-down menu, add in my call to action, and then come back and switch it back over to the video ad that we just had showing then, like this one here, for example. So you get the idea. So I wanted to pause that and just mention that here. So say, for example, this is simply boosting a post itself. The post has already been written. It's already been added. So we don't need to go in and add anything from headline text or anything like that because it's already been done here. You can add in some URL tags here if you want to do that. So if you want to chuck them in there, you can. I'm not going to touch on that right now. Down here, what is going to be the best place for a viral video, for example? In this case, it's not going to be the desktop right column. It can be the mobile newsfeed and the desktop newsfeed itself. If you want to add in an Instagram account, you can, but I'm not going to discuss Instagram yet. I would like to do that for free at the end of the month when I do a whole training on Instagram itself. So then let's place an order. Actually, let's go back to the ad set and make it more relevant to that picture there. So I'll get rid of that. And let's choose a very broad audience since I'm promoting a viral video. So let's choose something like, get rid of this as well, health and beauty. Let's choose that niche there. Let's choose women and leave it at that. Let's place the order at $5 a day. I'm just going to choose to add creative, which I've already done here. You can see in the actual update itself, I wrote hit like if you agree. Mobile newsfeed, not the desktop right column, which is the ads that run down the side of your Facebook. We want this to be displaying in the newsfeed in big bold area, and it's going to autoplay and get us some views, engagements, and whatnot. Let's place that order now. In review, we can go simply hit create similar ad and do the same thing. But for now, I'm going to hit continue here. I'm going to jump in right now. We're going to create another ad for clicks to a website, for example, send people to our actual website. This time we'll use the Madison Wilson diet plan again. Website clicks, set audience. Then we're going to go ahead, let's choose a similar audience. And if I save that audience in the last one, I could have just simply gone and chose that audience itself there, but because I didn't, let's leave it out. Australia, United States, and this time I'll go much faster because you guys get the idea already. I think it's cool if you guys see things on the fly like this in real time rather than some speech that's been, let me click out of that, that's been pre-written. I think it's cool to see live things happen. New Zealand, United Kingdom, Canada, 5. So I've got them there. Let's go ahead, and this time we're going to do a click to a website. So let's go 18 to 30, 35 maybe, 36 will do. Include fitness, but also like weight loss. Yo-yo dieting, yo-yo effect, dieting, and that are also exclude people who are vegans because this diet plan has meat. So let's do that there. 120,000 potential people in those categories there from those different countries with what I've set up as that. So that's pretty cool. I'll leave add a connection type blank for now. I'll set this for $5 a day. Link, so we'll get charged when people click to our website itself, which is what I like to leave it as. And then Facebook normally decides how effective your ad is from your actual ad text, your call to actions, images, and whatnot, which is in one of the following videos. I really want to do a big section on creating highly converting images because that's what people click through. They see the image first, then they read about it with the headlines. But if you don't have a good image, it's really hard to do. So we'll do that in another one. So link click cost per click. So we'll only get charged for people who click through to our website. And a nice little thing I want to mention here as well is while it's amazing to get really cheap views, really cheap clicks, it's going to really depend on your personal product that you're selling. For example, if your product is more of a high ticket item, like it's say a couple of $100 or thousands of dollars or whatever it might be, it's great to have a click-through rate that's going to get you 20 cent clicks, But if they're not converting to sales, what's the point? What I do in the fitness niche, I found one of my friends. He has a product that's in the health-related niche that's a completely personalized design diet plan. $350 Australian, so about $290 US or something. What they did is they were just sending people straight from Facebook to a sales page with a buy button, no videos or nothing like that. But because you're charging such a higher amount, you need to think about the actual sales process. So I said, let's get a sales videos done for you. Let's show the value you're providing. And then in the ad itself, let's say, if you are ready to invest $350 in yourself, then this is for you. Or something on reverse psychology, if you're not ready to invest $350 in yourself for the changes you know you can get, then this isn't for you. People automatically think, well, no, I'm ready to change. I can do this. I'm ready to invest in myself if it works. Again, whatever you're selling, it must work and provide value. But by putting that in the actual ad click itself, yes, we weren't getting as many clicks to our website as previously, and our ad clicks were more expensive because more people weren't clicking on it because we've said in the ad text itself that the product is $350. We might have been paying $1, $2, $3 per website click, but they were already pre-qualified and they knew that if they clicked through, they've already decided, yes, I'm ready to invest $350. So think about that. Yes, you might have $350 a product, and you might be trying to get the cheapest clicks, but who cares if you pay $3, $5, even $10 a click if you're making $340 of a $350 product, if you know what I mean. So cheap clicks is great, and especially if you're trying to funnel people through an opt-in, through a landing page to provide more value, then upsell. That's my favorite formula to do. But if you're going straight from an actual ad to a sales page, and it's a higher ticket item, that's a nice way to disqualify yourself. So keep that in mind there. We'll choose this as website clicks. Then we've chosen our page here. If you want to choose a different fan page, simply just select it from the drop-down menu here. Enter text. You can see here we've got a carousel image at the moment. I don't want to be using the carousel ones. So I'll move that. Give me a second to get rid of it. Oh, I might have chosen it on the previous page. Give me 1 second. Oh, no, here we go. I just want one banner image for this case. And again, we're not going to go into too much detail here for this, but I've chosen my banner image. Or you can even use an existing post, which is a nice and neat little way to do it as well. We can use the same one that we've done here, but then again, you can't actually edit the post itself. But what you can then do here is do the same process what we did before. We can remove Instagram, we can do that stuff here. So you can see create a new ad tab instead if you want to change the actual link itself. So let's not use that, let's create a new ad. Let's go down here, let's type in a headline and make the headline very congruent with whatever your page is sending them to. So say you're trying to get opt-ins for an email list. Let's have it as top 3 tips for losing or dieting over summer. Too long. Top 3 myths of dieting. We all know if you have tried everything, then you will want to grab this free top 3 tips ebook on dieting. And an ebook can literally be a 5-page PDF that's telling you these top 3 tips. See if that's long enough there. And with these ads here in Ads Manager, you have a limit of the text you can actually write. In the Power Editor, which I'll probably shoot in the next video because this is going on a bit longer here than I thought it would, you can have as long as you want. There's no limit to the amount of text you can write here. You'll get a see more button and it will expand. And yes, that will count as an engagement or a click or whatever. But if you're trying to really qualify the lead, it's a great way of doing it, which I'll show in the next video itself. So grab this for top 3 tips ebook on weight loss. I won't be able to do it here because of the limit that I can write, but we'll leave it like that. Learn more, I often like to do if I'm trying to create an opt-in list because they know they don't need to commit to actually buying or anything yet, they can come to my website and learn more. Download is another option here, which is cool. And they can go ahead and download the ebook directly from the actual ad itself. Click on the download button and it will go through to the actual website where they can then download it. Now they have lead ads for mobiles, which I'll show in another video, so they can actually pre-populate their email and their name and their email instantly. You can grab them without them even having to type it in, and they can actually get their content from the mobile phone. Call to action, newsfeed description. If you want to have this will go below the actual video, so I can say must know these top 3 myths for dieting or something like that. Like, this isn't my niche, but I could research it a bit more and find something appealing. But you're going to want to really provoke their questioning in their mind, saying, okay, yeah, I do want to know these top 3 tips. Then when they go to the sales page, you want to have the exact same headline or something very similar so it's congruent with the ad to the page they're going to. I see so many times landing pages and opt-in pages that are just so different, and they have banners and all this shit happening everywhere and things flying in and countdown timers and all this stuff. It's crazy. You'll find the most simple stuff that's congruent with the ad that you're posting will convert the best. And in this case, the ad itself here, each ad as well is going to have different dimensions, which is very, very frustrating. If it's Instagram ad, newsfeed ad, sidebar ad, Pinterest ad, banner ad on a website, they're all different. I'm going to show you how I solve this issue completely with one ad, and it automatically will generate all the right sized ads with the same ad itself for multiple platforms in the video I'll do tomorrow most likely. But you get the idea here, and I can select my images here that I want to use. You know, browse your library itself and upload an ad that you've created, which is what I almost always do. I'll get rid of this ad here because I don't want to use the one from the site. But there's also this free stock images here. So say I wanted to type in weight loss. You can go ahead and grab these free stock images from Shutterstock. And Shutterstock's a website. And I often use this website to grab royalty-free images that I can then go ahead and use and edit accordingly with, I used to use Photoshop, and I still do use Photoshop sometimes. It's a really cool tool if you know how to use it, but it's very expensive and big learning curve, which sucks if you're a beginner. So I'm not going to dive into how to do Photoshop, and I'm definitely not a graphic designer to say the least, but I know how to do stuff. And this is Shutterstock here. So if I typed in dog pages, I can come up and use here. These will have watermarks on them, and you can go and find royalty-free ones and whatnot. Or you can just use them directly from here. So say I wanted to use an ad like this, you can use this, but this ad here wouldn't even be approved because of the body image. And this is something why I don't get why Facebook even allows Shutterstock here, in this case, as a recommended images, because these would all deny. They're showing idolized body image. They're showing a fit body and too much stuff without faces, and they go against what their terms and conditions are. So it's weird here. So don't just think you can use these images willy-nilly. Use something that's appropriate accordingly. Before and after that looks like a before and after. I wouldn't even use that either. Maybe something fun that looks healthy like this, for example. Or this looks really nice too. But again, I wouldn't actually go ahead and use it. And you can add as many images as you want, and they'll split test which ad works the best with what image. And that's a really cool thing with Facebook. So you can see here, we've got it all set up here nicely. And can go through the different ads to see which will look the best here to me. And often you'll find the worst ad, the ad that you think looks the ugliest will convert the best. And don't know why, don't overthink it. Just try things and you'll see what works and what doesn't. And if you find the ugliest ad works, don't even try to question it because you'll never get to the answer. I never understand it either. You see how that looks. There'll be a learn or download button here in this case. Looks really clean and really nice. I'll just go ahead and I'll type in, I could place the order if I wanted to, but I'm not going to do that in this case here. And you get the idea with that. So let's just go back. Oh, actually, I'll pause this. I'll make this so it looks really nice, and we'll actually place the order for you guys so you can see. Before I do that, the most important part is you want to have your display URL here, which is where you want to send them to. Otherwise, you're going to send them to nowhere. So I'll put in the website that's the opt-in page or wherever it might be. Shopify store, our call to action side of video, wherever you're wanting to send them, put it down here. The ad can't contain profanity, harassment, or references to your audience personal characteristics, gender, race, age, or name. So I might go back and make sure that I might use the word dieting. Oh, I can use the word dieting, but I'm going to go over their policies again and see why they might even mention that. They're pretty strict, and even a lot of the time, even if it's fully within the terms and conditions, they might even deny the ad for their auto flagging system, and you need to appeal it and whatnot. So if you can go ahead and make sure it's strong and powerful right away, and you know it's going to get passed, do that. It's much easier. It's a lot quicker for you to get up and running. So I'll remove Instagram ad placement in this case because I'm not going to do that. Audience network. This will be your ad displaying on other third-party sites. Like a lot of people use this section to have the ad put on sites like the New York Times and whatnot as an ad. And then they say, oh, I've appeared on the New York Times, CNN, NBC, or whatever, all these Fox News and all these sites. Yes, you've appeared on it as an ad, not as an actual influencer in an article or whatnot. So that's how a lot of the guys get away with using that. And you'll actually find one of my good friends, Bill Hugel, who I might bring him into the group next week actually and introduce you to him if you don't know him already. Funniest guy ever. His display picture and cover photo is actually as never been seen on CNN, NBC, ABC, whatever. He's a really funny guy and a very genuine guy as well. So, and he's a bit of a Shopify expert. So I'll bring him in next week when we talk about Shopify. But back to this, I'll edit this, we'll place the order, and then we'll probably finish this video up. In the next, maybe, even today, I might jump straight into doing a Power Editor video, showing you how we can easily duplicate campaigns, some extra features in the Power Editor, how to even use the Power Editor, and why I went from hating it to actually loving the Power Editor now because I find it a lot easier to use than this. So I'll show you that in the next video, but this has gone a bit longer than time. I hope you guys don't mind. Hope you guys have enjoyed it, and I'll speak to you guys when we start getting some results and in the next video. And tomorrow, we're going to be smashing into making highly converting images because, again, it's the images and the imagery that's really going to help us convert when we're trying to make direct sales ads and opt-in ads and whatnot as well. So let's do that. I'll speak to you guys again soon, and see you then. Bye.